Welcome to Fire Breathing Kittens, an actual play podcast. Every episode microplot is a complete adventure with a beginning and an end that fits into the overarching macroplot of the whole season. Because they stand sturdily on their own, you can listen to these adventures in any order and can skip any you don't enjoy. Today, we are playing using the combat mechanics from a game called Tiny Dungeon. It's our first time playing, so we might make some mistakes. If you enjoy these mechanics, you could find Tiny Dungeon on Gallant Knight Games website. Build your own Tiny Dungeon character and play a game with friends. Speaking of friends, today we are joined by Kevin.
Hello, my name is Kevin. I am a 6-foot-tall bug person. I have a reddish-brown exoskeleton. I weigh about 300 pounds, and I have black insectoid eyes.
Muse.
Hey, it's me, your favorite Muse. If you don't know who I am, well, let me tell you. I am a human-like person, long black hair with pink highlights, with pink eyes. I'm wearing purple leather shorts and a leather jacket with an M monogrammed on the back, and of course I've got my guitar to boot.
And Sofia.
Teehee. You see the Cyclops with dyed blonde hair flip her hair, her ponytail goes whoosh. Sophie has the stats of a dwarf for Tiny Dungeon because they get dark vision, which I'm interpreting as monovision. I'm able to see in close to total darkness because I have a giant eyeball. There's a downside if there's sudden bursts of light, like a spell or an alchemist's flash bomb. I suffer disadvantage on my next turn. It comes with 8 health for having the dwarf, or I'm calling it a Cyclops race. And I have a weapon proficiency in nunchucks. I wouldn't call it proficiency, really. I possess on my person a pair of foam nunchucks. The chain sometimes rattles on its own. This deals 1 damage, sometimes to my opponents, sometimes to me. And I have 3 traits. My traits are perceptive because of the giant eyeball, which means I have advantage on visual tests to gain information on my surroundings or finding hidden things. I'm resolute, which is a very polite way of saying ditzy. Sometimes I gain advantage on save tests because being too dumb to be afraid can be a skill. And I'm lucky. Once per session, I can reroll 1 test.
Excellent. It is still midterms at New Anthera Community College. Purple and orange banners adorn the campus, proclaiming the upcoming spring break. But that spring break has not started yet. Muse Martinez, you are in the library because you have a history midterm coming up. Tell us, what is your approach to getting your history midterm paper written?
I'm pretty much of a procrastinator, so I would probably find me a nerd I can con into doing it for me.
The young, you think he's young. He looks kind of young. The young male dryad who you have charmed, conned, convinced, hard to say which one is in place here, to writing your history midterm, has very enthusiastically agreed to do this, but insists on you sitting by their side while they do so.
Oh, sure, yeah. No problem. I'll sit there, but I'm texting the whole time.
That's okay. He seems to be distracted too, mostly by you.
I'm okay with that.
Sofia, you have just arrived at the library. And by the way, Muse, you and your lackey, for a better word,
Yes.
are sitting in the study corrals kind of outside the main part of the library. Sophia, you've just arrived at the library with a task from Cooksy's Dye Shop. It's a bit of a long-term task for you, one that you've been given, but it was clear that they don't have high expectations of you succeeding on this right away. Because there is a formula for a dye that used to be fairly common, but it fell out of fashion. And now nobody remembers how to make it. Describe for us the color as historians have described it in the past.
There's a plant, and it's a green leaf plant. And there's something that you do to this plant that turns the powder that you make from it, lake dye style, blue. But I forget what you do to turn borage blue. No one knows anymore. They used to know. It's a lovely indigo blue color. But nowadays, I forget. Everyone forgets. It was a great color, though.
If you can find this formula, it will almost certainly be in an out-of-print book, probably in the college's special collections. Kevin, what brought you into the library in the first place?
Well, Kevin's entire purpose for being out of the colony is to learn about the people outside to see if they're a threat or an ally or what they have to offer. And what Kevin has done is he has disguised himself as a janitor in this community college. And he's wearing a janitor's outfit, and on his lapel it says Mr. George. And he's wearing a fake mustache and is very convinced that everyone buys this. And he's trying to sneak into the library to read books about history and sociology to learn more about these people, not understanding that this information is available to anyone who wants it without having to sneak in.
Wonderful. So, Muse, your dryad quote friend. Let's face it, they're just a fan. They're really just a fan.
Yep.
But yeah. Whose name is Esteban.
Esteban
tells you that he needs a particular history book, and he's already checked out the maximum number of books he's allowed to at this time. And he writes the name of the book on a slip of paper and says, could you possibly check it out so that I can keep working on your paper?
Okay, but don't miss me too bad when I'm gone. I will take the...
Absence makes my heart grow ever fonder.
Yeah, okay. And I'll take the paper and I'll go find it.
Okay. So, Sophia, you have you're like walking into the library, and the New Anthera Community College library has a rather serious librarian, in the sense that there is a 15-foot tall, rather blocky robot that is known as the New Anthera Community College Library Engine, or Nickel. Nickel stands in the doorway, and Sophia, as you approach to, access the library, Nickel says, "Credential, please."
Do I have a student ID?
Are you a student?
That's a good question. Should I be a student for this adventure, GM?
There are many ways to get into this library, so it's up to you.
It's a community college, so I think you can join for like $50. So makes sense that I could afford it, right? And I probably would sign up for some community colleges. You can take like 1 or 2 classes every few years that interest you, right?
Yeah.
Like a dyeing class. So yeah, I have a student ID and I show it to Nickel. I'm like, Hi, Nickel. Here's my student ID.
The enormous robot scans your ID and hands it back to you and says, "You may access the general archives and you may request individual volumes from the storage of special collections. Have a good day."
Wait, Nickel, Okay, so, like, do you have anything on this dye fell out of fashion? And, like, it'd probably be really hard to find information on it. Is there anything in the back room about making purple dye from Alcana tinctoria? It's a borage.
Please access the library catalog for questions about the catalog.
I do. I go over to the library catalog and I'm like, how do I do this? It's just red for me. I don't know how to make it purple.
All right, so you're starting to tap at the keyboard to try to figure out, like, how do I find this book? Muse, you approach Nickel, who also requests your credential.
Sure, I'll get it out of my wallet and I'll show it to him. Just wanna check this out.
He scans your ID. He says, "You may access the general archives. You may request individual volumes from storage of special collections," and hands it back to you.
Cool. Do you know where I can find this one? And I'll slip him the paper.
Please direct questions about the library catalog to the library catalog computer.
Fine. I'll go over there.
Kevin, that's where all the good stuff is actually inside, past this robot. But you can stay out here in the lobby and observe how these humans interact.
I feel like with an employee ID, he is just going to walk into where the good books are.
Cool. Nickel also asks for your credential.
I show him the badge that says Mr. George, Janitorial Services. He goes, I have been told to come here and clean up after a Mr. Dewey Decimal.
So here's a question. Do you have any traits that would help you with forgery or
I'm charismatic. I gain advantage on convincing or influencing people.
Yeah, that doesn't quite go for the item, though.
Oh, my cover is he is actually hired as a janitor at this community college.
Okay, all right, I'll give that to you. So go ahead and roll with advantage. Now, for the listeners at home, in Tiny Dungeon, when you make a test, it's called, which is basically anytime you try to do something that has a reasonable chance of failure, the GM may call for a test. Normally, you roll 2 6-sided dice, and if any of them turn up as a 5 or a 6, you succeeded, and if none of them do, you did not succeed. If you have disadvantage, you only roll 1d6. If you have advantage, you roll 3d6. If you have advantage and disadvantage, you roll 1d6. If you have multiple types of advantage and disadvantage, you still roll 1d6. Make sense? Okay, disadvantage trumps everything and it doesn't stack. So, Kevin, what'd you do? How'd you do?
I did very well. 2 6s and a 5.
Excellent. That is fantastic. When you originally came in and tried to convince them that you were a qualified janitor, surprisingly enough, the HR lady was a mantis and completely and totally bought your cover story and may have been flirting with you. A mantis person. Yes.
Okay. Excellent.
And may have been flirting with you, which is a little dangerous.
And illegal.
They eat the guy ones, right? Or is that
Yeah,
just in
they
captivity?
do. Yeah, no.
Just
they
in
do.
captivity. In the wild, you're fine, right?
If you
No.
listened to the last episode Kevin is on, it is established that he is a very sexy bug.
He is. He's a hot bug. Hot bugs and heists is a hot bug.
Yep. Hot bug. So all three of you have made your way into the the general archives. So these are like the normal books. These are not special collections or anything like that. To access the special collections, it's a little bit more challenging. Kevin, you can actually get into the special collections, although if you're doing things in there besides cleaning, that's going to be a little suspicious, just so you know.
I'm going to go into special collections and quote unquote mop as I'm reading the titles of the books. And if I find a really interesting one, I will knock it on the ground and maybe have to dust it.
Okay. So Kevin, you head into the special collections area right away. Sophia, your search for in the catalog, I'm going to make you do a test for this for sure.
Ooh, is this a save?
Is this a save? No,
Yeah,
I think this is just an
3 dice
obstacle.
when I roll. Okay, all right. Okay, is it a perception test?
Not really.
What am I doing?
So you're searching in the library catalog. So this is more like a logic test.
Oh, I can see all the book titles. Do I pick the right book title? Yeah, okay. I'll roll 2d6. 2 4s.
Okay. Well, you can decide how seriously you figure out where you might need to be looking. I mean, you kind of knew that you probably need to be looking in the special collections. It's just you're not really sure where in special collections, so you're not going to be able to just request the one volume that you need from the special collections librarian.
Nah, I'm gonna be here a while.
Muse, the book title that you've been given, normally there are several copies in general circulation. All of them are checked out. The only copy left is in the special collections.
And I would know the only way to go to special collections is like to be like a teacher.
Staff, grad students, something else.
Okay. I'm gonna go loiter over there and see if I can con somebody to go and fetch it for me.
Okay. So you go hang out next to the special collections, and the special collections area, it's actually a fairly significant portion of the building and takes up like several floors. But this particular it's kind of like the reception area for it, overlooks the geology collection, which is a collection of rare minerals and really, frankly, rocks, and metals and things. And you see that Devin Cover, the grad student TA for geology, is in there, and he seems to be very frustrated as he's sorting through a pile of or a drawer that's got a bunch of rocks like piled up, and he keeps pulling some out and setting them on the table next to him and everything.
All right, I'll go over to him.
Okay.
I'll turn on the charm.
This is the guy who in the past episode you were late to his class and he was like, yeah, that makes sense. You're late to everything, aren't you?
Oh.
He was like, of course you're late.
Yeah, he's not a big fan of Muse Martinez.
Except when he transformed into his tuxedo mask, man bun hunk form. And then he was like, love can do anything.
Love can do anything.
But you don't know
that's because he didn't know it was Muse.
Yeah. No one knew who each other was, but you just know him as Grumbly.
Dang it. He doesn't like me, and I frankly don't really like him either.
You only don't like him because he doesn't fawn over you. Let's be serious.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, he don't take no crap.
I mean, really, that's on him, rather me, but, All right, I'll go over to him, and I'm gonna he's gonna hate me so much for this. But of the rocks that he's like put on the table, I'm gonna take one up and just like inspect it and be like, so what are these anyways? I mean, besides rocks.
Please don't touch that. And he like grabs it out of your hand.
Why not? It's just a rock.
Well, for starters, your hands are ungloved. And second, you don't know what kind of rock it is. And you don't know where it belongs. Because clearly, we're letting undergrads in to touch the rocks and move them around and put them in the wrong places.
Well, it wasn't me, because this is the first time I'm seeing these things.
Somehow, I'm not surprised this is the first time that you've ever seen the inside of the library.
No, I meant these rocks. I've been in here before.
How can I help you, Miss Martinez?
I need a book that's in the special collections.
Well,
And
good
you're
luck
the
with
only
that.
person. And she's like, pokes him like with her manicure finger. You're the only one I know here. So I need your help.
And
I need your help. Please?
he goes back to sorting his rocks.
Come on, dude. I just want a book so I can study. Do you want me to do bad in school?
Frankly, I don't care.
Well, you should, since, you're, like, graduating before me, so, like, shouldn't you be here to, like, help towards people's future or whatever?
He holds up a rock. He says, "Can you identify this rock?"
Can I identify the rock?
I don't know. Can you? Would you like to
Let's
make a test?
try. Let's try. Right. I don't know what I have that can do
I don't
with this.
See much on your character sheet that's going to help you here, so probably just 2d6.
2d6. Okay. A 5 and a 2.
Hey! You are able to identify this is quartz, which you know because quartz is used in audio equipment sometimes.
That's a quartz. You got anything rougher than that? Oh, wait. And you can't, because it's a pretty solid one. Come on, it's a geology joke.
It's a shisty geology joke.
Can't do anything right for you. Come on, dude. I went out of my way to make a corny rock joke. Can't you help me just one time?
You know, he gestures at the drawers of rock samples and says, "It seems to me that I need something and you need something. And you're so good at identifying rocks. So why don't you sort out this mess and I'll go get your book."
I would like to use my deduction skills to see if I can trust what he is telling me. Like, can I insight him? What is his true intentions here? To
Sure.
leave me in the dust.
Pretty sure this is also 2d6.
Yeah. I have a very, very specific skill set, okay? Oh! A 6 and a 5.
Okay. He thinks that it's going to take you a while to sort these rocks, and it's not going to take him very long to get your book. So he's going to get the better side of this deal, but also he'll get your book for you. He's not going to double cross you here.
He's not gonna double cross me. All right. All right. Doesn't look like it would be too difficult. Sure.
All right. I'll be back with your book. And he looks down at the drawers. Yeah, probably about an hour.
Oh, come on, dude. It's not gonna take me that long.
All right. We'll see. And he takes the slip of paper from you and he heads off into the stacks. Meanwhile,
Right.
Kevin,
Kevin.
are there any particular titles or subjects that you are scanning for?
Probably things about war and conquest and potential locust swarms and pest control methods.
All right. I'm going to say that you find yourself in the map archive where they keep old maps that include maps of military operations.
Like historical or like current?
No, historical.
Okay. Kevin would try to surreptitiously thumb through some of those and read about the history of warfare and, you know, provocation and why these mammals might decide to kill one another or perhaps even kill species that aren't like them.
So as you're thumbing through some of these maps, it seems that a common theme among some of the maps, there's particular regions in the area that historically have been fought over, and which, you know, territory maybe it's a territorial thing.
Kevin gets that. Colonies fight other colonies sometimes. You know, expansion has to happen.
So perhaps that's some insight for you.
Awesome.
So since I see on your character sheet that you have an eidetic memory, later on, should you be in the process of getting lost for some reason, since you've kind of primed your memory, you will have advantage on a test related to getting lost.
That's not foreshadowing at all.
Not at all. Sophia, you've entered the special collections area, and I think that's where you're headed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As mentioned, you know, there's like the kind of the rock collection, the geology section. Do you know Muse yet? Have you met?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All the fire-breathing kittens members drink together at the bar. Yeah.
I think we've been on a few adventures, too.
Yeah.
So you see your friend Muse over sorting through a bunch of rocks.
It's a library, so I just kind of like wave from across the room. Wave.
She's focused. She don't see you.
And
that's fine.
Yeah. And the books that you're looking for are most likely downstairs in like the basement archives. Do you head that way?
I guess so. I mean, based on my role, I do not find these books right away.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna be here a while.
You'll be here a while. All right.
Yeah.
So you wander through like the map collection on your way towards the stacks, where you also see Kevin, who you also know from the fire-breathing kittens. He seems to be flipping through some maps.
I wave, but I don't want to be a jerk in the library.
Kevin waves back.
Yay.
And as you head downstairs, or as you are heading downstairs, would you roll a d6 for me? This is not a test. This is just a random number generator.
I got all excited because I have 3d6 on saves. But just 1d6, it's a 3.
Thank you. So as you are heading down the stairs, there's the Numenthera library or community college library is kind of an interesting space because there are displays throughout the whole library of various like historical documents and things like that. And one of them is actually it's an old charter document that was used in the founding of the college, and it's on display next to the stairwell that heads down to the stacks. It's just kind of a little thing, and you kind of pause for a second and see it as you're walking by, and as you look at it, you see that all of the text on it sort of shifts and transforms into these strange, unreadable glyphs written in this thin, spidery hand that it kind of feels like something is twisting in your brain, and it gives you this headache right behind your eye.
Okay. Sophie's fundamental personality trait is dumb. Like oblivious. Like this one time they hired her to be an extra to rob a bank and she did it. So things that hurt her brain, she avoids. So she looks away from the text shifting into glyphs, and it's not the book she wants. So she's like, not the book.
This is not the book I'm looking for.
Nope.
And you head downstairs. Kevin, would you please roll a d6 for me?
3.
The writing on the maps also makes this weird transformation. Turns into these unreadable glyphs, these almost, I mean, I'd say inhuman, but so. But these just 4-dimensional writing that makes your head hurt.
Can I push past it and try to piece together what I'm seeing?
Ooh. Yeah. I will, I'll let you make a save on this to get past it.
And that's 2d6, right?
Mm-hmm. Sophia, once you head downstairs, the letters seem normal and the sensation passes, so you don't need to make a save. I know you're all excited. You're like, I wanted my 3d6.
I got a 1 and a 5.
1 and a 5. Okay. So you're able to push past it, but that headache is nagging you even so. But you are able to kind of, it's almost like you can see the pattern underneath the letters.
I'm thinking like brain freeze headache is kind of what I'm feeling, like a sharp, painful sort of ouch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And it makes it a little queasy even. Yeah.
So what do I see once I push past and almost throw up?
Well, 2 things sort of superimposed on each other. One, the actual words that denote the places that are on the map, which are, well-known locations in the world, but overlaid on them are words like strife, murder, bloodshed, conquest.
When I read these, do I feel the desire to do murder and violence more so than his base level of desire to do that?
Roll a test with advantage because of your perception.
661.
Yes. These superimposed glyphs, and you suddenly realize why you are feeling that way. They have a pheromone sent to them that conveys that information. Probably these nose-blind mammals would never pick up on it.
Is this a familiar pheromone? Like, is this something I have experienced in the colony before?
No, these maps are old.
Okay. But this is insectoid?
It's pheromone. Not sure if it's insectoid.
How very strange. Is it over all of the maps or just the one I have?
Well, it's definitely the one that you are examining. And as you pull out the next map, the sensation fades. And this one seems normal. And when you look back at the other one, it seems normal again.
Can I try to take a deep whiff and try to catch that pheromone again?
Yeah, you do. And you don't sense it at all anymore.
Is there anyone around other than Sophie who just walked by?
Muse is in the outer part of the special collections. There are a few other people, and there is a nickel unit standing next to the door.
I'm going to use my eidetic memory to recall the moments leading up to me sensing the pheromones and try to see if anything was out of place in those moments leading up to that.
I'm not going to make you roll. You think back to like right before then, Sofia had just walked by, and that's it. That's what you've got.
Kevin is going to go seek out Sofia and see if she also saw or felt anything strange.
Okay. Well, you saw that she headed towards the stacks downstairs, so you head that way. Muse. So, rocks. You're dealing with rocks.
Rocks.
Lots of rocks. As you're sorting the rocks and putting things away and doing okay, maybe, probably, you think?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm mostly like anything that's like the same color or in like the same like genre. I'm gonna put them the same. You know what I mean? You didn't say it had to be right.
So as you're doing that, you feel something brush your hand, and you're still like putting the rocks away, and you feel something like almost tickle the back of your hand, and when you look down, you realize that there's like a bug on your hand. I mean, this is like kind of gross, but whatever. It's
Ew! I
library.
Smack it.
Yeah, and you smack it, and you realize that there's another one crawling up your arm.
What the hell?
And there's another one on. In fact, there's like a little like line of them going up your hand and up your arm.
That's why he didn't want to do this. There's bugs in here.
Yeah. And you realize that the drawer, there's tons of these tiny little mites that are all over the inside of the drawer and are all over your hands.
Oh, this is so not funny.
What would you like to do?
I'm going to start putting, like I said, I'm going to put all of the rocks that like look vaguely the same. So like it looks right at first glance.
So you're going to persist even though you're being covered with
I'm going to like try to like swipe them off, but not much I can do about it.
Okay. You take a point of damage.
Oh.
Do you want to persist?
No, I'm going to try to get them off.
Okay. And how?
Like I said, I'm going to like try to like sweep them off of my like being with my hands, air out my shirt, take it off if I have to.
Of course. So you start like pulling at your clothes, pulling at your shirt, and these things are just they're crawling all over you. Would you please make a save test for me?
A 3 and a 6.
Okay. So just as you take off your shirt and start just using it to like wipe and whip these things off of you, you look and your hands are completely clean and there's no evidence whatsoever of these bugs. You don't see any of them anywhere.
I'm just
you just like had a public freak out for nothing.
I like shake my head and put my shirt back on. Get it together, Muse.
If this is Devin's idea of a prank, it's a pretty bad one.
Yeah, it's like, man, am I tripping? Did he give me something? No, I didn't eat anything.
Are you going to go back to sorting the rocks at this point?
Well,
or is
he hasn't come back for my book, so...
True, but you know where he went.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to him and I'm going to be like, what the frick, man?
Okay, so when I say you know where he went downstairs into the stacks to go get your book.
Yeah, I'm going to go that way.
All right. see how the GM expertly manipulates all of the characters to end up in the special collection stacks, bringing them all to the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
Sorry. Doesn't hurt that my players are perfectly willing to go along with that. So the three of you end up downstairs in the stacks, and the special collection archives are a series of very large, heavy bookshelves. There are crank-driven rails to move these shelves to open and close the spaces between them. And these shelves are long, they're maze-like, and kind of claustrophobic. It would be easy to get lost. And there are no or few safety mechanisms to prevent students from being crushed between the shelves.
I've always wondered if that was possible when I went to libraries that had that. Like, could you squish somebody between those?
I don't know if you can. I assume that there's a safety mechanism, but New Anthera Community College did not subscribe to that level of patronage for their library shelves. So no, they're highly unsafe. I mean, come on, this is a community college in New Anthera. It's got to be dangerous, right?
Here's my thought on that. All right, so you test that by getting a footstool for a short person to reach the taller shelves, and you put that and then you press close and you see if it closes on the footstool. But more importantly, the bigger danger in libraries is that no one can hear you scream. And like in real life, the library that I was in one time, like where someone was telling me the story, was like someone got stabbed here and no one knew. We never got the killer. Because when you scream, all the books absorb your screams. So anyway, fun fact. All right, keep going.
Thank you for helping to set the tone of this episode, this horror episode of Tiny Dungeon. So, Sophia, you have found, probably through dumb luck, because, the botany section of the special archives. There is a 2-volume encyclopedia of dyes called Hanson's Cyclopedia of Pigments, volumes 1 and 2. As you flip through, you see that this volume is complete with samples. So there's like little pressed flowers inside. There's like small envelopes with pigments, pigment powder in them, and so forth. These are attached to the shelf with a sturdy chain that runs through rings that are attached to the spines of these books. Now, Sophia, you are something of a magical being, yes?
You could say that. Wink, my single eye.
Would you please make a test for perception as you open your eye wide? You have advantage on this.
Okay, I was going to say, just to clarify, Jim.
I have a question. How does a one-eyed creature wink? What's the difference between a wink and a blink? Sorry, completely off topic, but...
You know what? If you have to ask, you've obviously never met a Cyclops, is all I'm saying.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair. It's context clues.
Yeah.
It looks like a blink, but I'm smiling.
One side of the eyelid squishes more than the other side. I don't know.
Okay, there we go.
And speed, it's like... Yeah. That visual demonstration helps the listeners. All right, I got a 6 on my 3 dice.
Okay.
Also other things.
Also other things, but the important thing is you got a 6. So there is a very light magical aura to these books.
Yeah, that makes sense. Special collection.
It's a special collection. They are, however, attached to the shelf with a chain.
Means I gotta read them here. I search for Alcana Tinctoria. How to make it blue? It's just red for me.
You start like looking through, and you're like looking through the through volume 1, And you kind of left volume 2 sitting on the shelf. You can kind of pull volume 1 off, and it's attached with the chain and everything. And as you're reading, as you're flipping through, you kind of sense like somebody walk up next to you, right? And but you're reading, and then you hear the sound. You hear a chain and a thump, and you look, and there is the volume 2 is dangling from the chain, and there is a goat tearing out pages and chewing on them. It looks up at you.
How big is this goat?
It's a sizable goat. It's got brown fur. Looks male. It's got little horns.
Okay, this threat to my book shall not be tolerated. But at the same time, does it have a student ID?
I don't believe it does. It may have eaten one, but it does not give you a student ID it's not hanging around its neck or anything.
Okay. All right. Gosh, you don't look like a student to me. And I don't think you're supposed to be eating the Special Archives books. But at the same time, it's not my book. So, like, if the management of these books involves goats eating them sometimes, I'm not the person managing these books. I think what I would want to do is ask a question. So it's chained to there. So I'm just going to put it back, put book 1 back. That doesn't feel right. I'm going to ask the goat. Excuse me, are you a student or a manager or part of the management system of these books?
And it tears another page out of volume 2 and starts chewing on it.
There is a definite language barrier here. So I'm not fluent in that. I think I'm going to need a nickel right now to be like, what is going on? My goal is to go back to nickel. I'm going to head back through the stacks and be like, what is happening? Nickel, is this supposed to happen? I don't think it's supposed to happen.
Neat. I'm going to need you're going to make a saving throw.
Hey, I get 3 dice.
To not find yourself lost in the stacks.
2, 2, 3.
Well, okay. So, good news, bad news. Bad news. You are lost. Good news. You don't see the goat anymore.
Yeah, that was stressful.
Also, bad news. You left the books behind because they were chained to the wall, to the shelf.
Oh, let's be real. How good would I have been at interpreting them? So, I'm walking.
Muse.
Yes. Yes.
You are wandering around looking for looking for Davin, and go ahead and roll a test for me to see how it's going. It's gonna be a straight test. I don't think you have anything that's gonna give you advantage on it.
I don't. Oh, a 3 and a 2.
Okay, so you're getting pretty turned around, and you hear from somewhere not too far away, and just as you turn the corner and you hear again, and you hear the sound starts, this like almost like feedback screeching clicking noise in your ears. It's piercing straight to the bone of your skull. You cannot take the focus action for the rest of this scene.
Oh no.
Kevin, so you came downstairs because you were like, I'm going to go find Sophia. What's your approach for trying to find the Cyclops?
Sophia, it is I, Kyyyvvyynn. I am trying to find you. Where are you?
So you're going to do the equivalent of playing Marco Polo in the stacks?
Yep.
Awesome.
He has no concept that you're supposed to be quiet in a library. He's a bug.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Just roll a regular test for me. This is essentially to largely see if you are able to by luck or by strategy, mostly luck, be turned and going in the right direction towards Sophia when you start calling out to her.
So remember when Sophia was talking about how books absorb sound really well? Apparently the dice knew this because I got 2 1s.
Well,
so I barely hear myself.
Yes. You think you're doing great, and so you're wandering through the stacks, and things are, it's honestly for you it almost feels a little cozy because hey, it's all close in and kind of claustrophobic, right? Mm-hmm. But as you're walking down one of the shelving units, this particular shelving unit houses medical information, just random bit of knowledge for your eidetic memory. You walk through just as you reach the end, one split second after you perceive it, but before you can stop yourself from walking, you see a purple glowing web materialize at the end of the whole of this passageway between the 2 shelves. Unfortunately, you aren't able to stop yourself from walking through it, and for one brief moment, you have a sudden memory of 1,000 years passing. Lives lived and lost, horrors, war, peace, the rise and fall of empires. And then it ends and you're standing there in the library.
So, question for you. Did I experience that or just catch bits and pieces of it? Did I have that information for a second?
You felt it. It is as if you lived it and then it stopped.
So does my eidetic memory allow me to retain that information, seeing as I retain any information I absorb, even in passing?
Yes, you lived it. And later, if you need to recall that kind of information, you can. However, when you do, it always makes you feel kind of sick.
Seems like a fair trade-off.
So the 3 of you are kind of lost in the stacks, calling to each other. Well, Kevin is calling to Sophia. Sophia is kind of looking for a nickel unit to help her deal with the goat infestation. And Muse is looking for Davin, who has played a terrible, terrible trick on her.
Oh, I'm so mad.
This feels like a great time for a short break.
Well, hey, it's Muse, and if you want to hear us read your comments, then you should comment. If you leave us a review on iTunes, then we will read it out on the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.
It's the mid-episode break. Did you know we don't pay to advertise this show, so the only way we can grow is if you tell someone about us. Is there someone you know who would smile at this episode? Well, sharing it with them would really help us. Thank you.
Today's mid-episode shout-out is, quote, "Special shout-out to my friend of 41 years, Amir, for the lifelong bond and adventures we've shared. You're family to me," end quote. Is there an episode of Fire-Breathing Kittens would make someone you know smile? Telling them about it would help us. Thank you.
All right, so the three of you are meandering through the stacks. There's definitely a sense of something is very wrong with the library and things that are going on here. Sophia, you're looking for a nickel unit, and Kevin, you're looking for Sophia, and Muse, you're looking for Davin. Narrate for the audience for us, please. What brings all three of you to the same place at the same time, the same spot in this library? How do you, by accident or design, find each other?
Well, Kevin is walking around making quite a ruckus. So I would assume he is probably the easiest person to congregate to, I guess.
I'm still looking for Devin, so I'm pretty, I got my blinders on, you know?
So, Muse, do you think you find Kevin more by accident than by design?
Yeah, more by accident.
Okay. As you're looking for Davin, the coincidental accident that brings you into Kevin's circle is, Muse, you're a little distractible as a person in general, right?
Yeah, fair.
Right? Like you tend to,
Yeah.
Ooh, shiny. Yeah. Okay. So
Very shiny, yes.
yeah. So, like you're supposed to be looking for Davin. You're like, focus. Ooh, you didn't realize that they had an entire section of rare sheet music.
Ooh, I wonder if they have any Ramones.
Yeah. So that's where you're sort of distracted when you see Kevin walking by calling Sophia's name.
Oh, hey, Kevin.
Hello, Muse. Did you see something in a book that made your head hurt?
That's really oddly specific. I heard a noise that made my head hurt. Is that the same?
Potentially.
Anyway, are you looking for Sophie?
Yes, she walked by here and said she, waved. I assume she is down here looking for a book.
Oh. Yeah, I was looking for a book too, but unfortunately, it's in that, restricted area. Oh, hey, you work here, right?
Yes?
You think you can get me the book?
Are we not already in the restricted area?
Oh, yeah.
Kevin's going to
I
keep
guess I
walking
just,
down the hallway
wouldn't
calling for
know.
Sophie.
I'll tag along, but I'm gonna start looking for the book and or my other nemesis.
You have so many nemesis.
I do.
Sophia, you are wandering around looking like you're sure you're gonna find a nickel unit sooner or later, right? Because these are the librarian units. They should be down here.
Yeah. Aren't they?
Well, that's the thing. They're curiously absent. And just as you're like, you head for the door to go upstairs to, yell at them and bring one of them downstairs. As you reach the door, you feel something very cold. The temperature of the air around you drops very suddenly. And frost forms on the glass of the door to the stairwell. And you see a grotesque face in the frost.
So I'm heading to the stairwell, to get back to the main part of the library?
Yeah, to go get a nickel unit, to get a librarian to come down and deal with the goat.
Is the face an absence of frost, on the glass? Or is it through the glass, there's somebody in the stairwell that I'm about to hit with a door?
It's like the frost forms in, how frost will form like with a, crystalline pattern, but instead of crystals,
You ever want to prank someone, you draw a dick in the steam, and then next time,
Yeah.
Yeah, right, exactly, just like that. Except this
That's
is like
my girl.
this is like somebody drew a terrifying face, and it doesn't look like it was drawn with a finger. It looks almost photorealistic, but it's
good job.
two-dimensional
Good job.
and in the frost.
yeah, I chuckle because first I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, you got me. I'm in a college.
But yeah, it's freezing, and like when you reach for the door handle, like it's like sub-zero, very, very cold, and like kind of shocks your hand for a second as you reach for it.
Yeah, use my shirt. I'm like, it's cold.
All right. And just as you open the door to start heading up the stairs, that is when, mostly by luck, Kevin and Muse spot you and come up behind you.
Oh, so many jump scares.
What you doing?
Trying to get Nickel because there's a goat and I don't know what to do.
Wait a minute. Was this goat wearing anything?
I checked it for a student ID and it wasn't.
Did he happen to be on the roof?
No, it was in the halls, like in the stacks.
How did he get in the... You know what? Not a today problem. I believe Kevin was looking for you.
Yes, Sofia. Earlier, did you see anything that made your brain hurt like you had had too much ice cream?
Yeah, the charter on display.
The charter on display, did it happen moments after you encountered me in the map room?
Yeah.
Then I believe something foul is afoot.
A foul foot? Ew.
We are in a building surrounded with books. Perhaps you should peruse one. He picks a random book off the shelf and gives it to Muse.
I'm gonna read the title. I'm afraid to ask.
How to make silhouettes in bathroom mirror glass.
Oh.
Goats and how to care
this...
for them.
You know what? This might actually come in handy. I'm gonna take goats and how to care for them.
Is that really the book I grabbed, GM?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not the one with that eidetic memory.
Sure, I grabbed goats and how to care for them and gave you that book.
Perfect. I'm writing that down.
Look in the book and see if your brain hurts.
Okay, but who's gonna take care of me once I have a migraine?
He pats you on the head.
Don't
I'm
all
sure you will be
volunteer.
fine.
Don't all volunteer all at once. Jeez.
So you're going to read the book?
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, for Kevin and Muse, this is player knowledge because your characters would not notice this. It is not freezing cold for you. So, Muse, you open up the book, and as you do, you see like tendrils of purple light pull up from the book and surround you. It envelops you. You lose one action per turn until you are free from these gossamer webs of light.
Do I smell pheromones while she feels that?
I feel like that might be a perception-based test.
Which I have advantage on because I am perceptive. Let's see how well luck is with me. 1, 4, 5.
Okay. So, yes, but they are odd, strange, and predator. They smell like the stars.
In any of those lives I lived 1,000 times. Is
Had
this
you
familiar?
ever smelled that before? So you think back and you feel queasy when you do. You feel this like almost wrenching sensation of wrongness as you let your brain crawl back to those 1,000 years, those lives lived, and there's a vaguest flicker of a memory, and all you can remember from it is that you smelled that, and then that life was snuffed out.
So this is a dangerous smell to me.
Probably.
Kevin is going to close the book that Muse was perusing, and
just as quickly as it started, when you close that book, Muse, you are freed from those webs of light.
Oh, thank God.
we are in danger. Something from the stars is here to kill us.
Wow, thanks, Captain Obvious.
A star goat?
I'm sorry, did you smell the pheromones or did I?
I was just wrapped up in his nasty tentacles.
And just then, just as you have made this proclamation that something from the stars is here to kill you, you hear, "Oh my God, what is that?" from somewhere in the stacks. What do you do?
Sophie takes out her foam nunchucks and run towards the... Wait, but like, here's the problem with stacks. So, player knows Sophie would not be able to hear anybody screaming. And that this is definitely like a mind construct by like a space evil.
Oh, it's kind of muted.
Oh, how... I'm going to take you in a library one day. All right, so...
I've been in libraries. I've even been into
Proper.
those thick stacks. I know it's very quiet, but
yeah,
you can.
That's
you can
the problem
hear,
with them.
Hear just enough.
Can't hear anything. Okay, all right. Okay. Regardless, my Cyclops girl has no idea that this is impossible and runs towards the scream with her nunchucks, her foam nunchucks out.
Kevin views her as part of the colony and therefore must also be protected, so he grabs his mop, aka the staff that he is proficient in, and follows her.
Muse?
Okay, I'm looking at my sheet to see what I got. I mean, I got my my bullet boobies, so I will take off my shirt.
I mean, right now you don't see anything to impress with your bullet boobs, but...
Oh, true. I guess I'll look around to see where that sound is coming from.
Okay. So it is hard to tell because those books are definitely going to affect that. Why don't you make a test to see if you can figure out which direction it came from?
Okay. Let's see. I don't think I have anything.
Nope. Of all the three characters, you are the least likely to be able to do this, but that's okay. Give it a try anyway.
Hey, I didn't roll too bad. A 5 and a 3.
Hey, you realize that Sophia and Kevin have started off in the wrong direction, and you can tell that it's coming from over that way.
Guys, it's gonna be over here. I'll grab my friend's attention so that they can help assess the situation.
All right, friends.
I go where pointed towards.
All right. So the three of you start charging through the stacks, and you skid to a stop as you realize that the cyclopedias, the Hansen Cyclopedia of Pigments volumes are dangling from their chains. Some of the pages have been torn out, but the goat is nowhere to be found. You rush past and continue to where you've heard it sounds like it's a man's voice, and as you come skidding to a stop, you see in between these very large, long bookshelves, there's a enormous spider glowing with purple light. And Davin, your nemesis, question mark, is on the ground in front of this spider as it is very rapidly, kind of, like the scene from Lord of the Rings, right? Very rapidly spinning a cocoon of webs of glowing purple webs around his legs and working their way up. What do you all do?
Oh no, what will I do? So,
at this point, we're going to roll for initiative. Initiative is a standard test. It is 2d6. If you succeed at the test, you go before the NPCs. If you fail at the test, you go after the NPCs.
Snake eyes.
Oh, I think I very much succeeded.
Yeah. I think Kevin has an instinctive fear of spiders because I also got snake eyes.
I got 2 5s. That's insane.
All right. So, excellent. Muse, you have the drop on them, and I will let you know that there are also crawling out of the between like the books and things on the shelves. There are several swarms of spider hatchlings, also glowing purple. What would you like to do?
How far away is the big spider that's currently wrapping up Devin? Like,
I'm glad you asked that question. Range in Tiny Dungeon works like this. We have different range categories. We have close. There we go. Close, near, and far. Currently, you are all in the near range. Close is considered melee. Near is considered appropriate for ranged weapons. Far is a little too far to shoot at it.
All right, let's shooty booby. and a very heroic stance, since I'm probably just wearing whatever shirt under, probably my own band t-shirt that I made. I'll rip it off and be like, don't worry, I'll save you, even though you hate me for whatever reason. And I'm gonna shoot
after you missorted his rocks.
that was he put bugs in there, so I don't want to. Anyway, I'll save you. It says I get 3d6 instead of 2d6. 3 and 2 4s.
Okay, so that's definitely not going to hit, right?
Right.
So you take a minute to basically load your weapon, so to speak, and fire on the spiders. Which spiders were you aiming for? The big guy or the swarms? Guy. Okay.
The big guy.
All right. So
if not to kill him, at least get his attention off of the bystander.
Okay. The great spider is unimpressed by your boobies. Apparently, it is not mammalian for some reason. I don't know. But the spiders all go. They take their turn. So the tiny spider hatchlings they form these swarms, and each of them comes forward and swarms onto each of you. They are they're actually like they bite you. They're irritating, but they don't really do damage. But each of you must make a save test.
I'm gonna roll 3d6 because
Sophia's all excited.
Yeah, okay. How does being ditzy protect me from spider swarms? Well, here's how. Because half of the damage you do to yourself when you're swarmed by spiders is from your own slaps. It's all about how you respond. It's all about how you respond.
Could I argue because I'm an acrobat and I can maintain balance, even though I'm smacking myself, I'm still like solid on my feet?
Not so much. If you were facing off against one opponent and I made you make a save test like this, I'd say yes. But this is a swarm.
A swarm. Got
It is a swarm that has come to mess you up. Sophia, with your 3d6s.
Oh yeah, I succeeded. I very calmly identify and remove each member of the swarm, and I'm like, no, to each one.
No.
This is my body. You
Just
go
no.
outside.
Kevin rolled a 6 and a 5 and is in murder the spiderlings mode. So she's gently telling them no, and I am actively killing everyone on me and everyone I can reach that she is dropping on the ground after telling no. Spiders
And
must
Muse.
die. I am an insect. Spiders must die.
And Muse.
Well, I mean, a 6, a 4,
Okay.
and another.
So,
and I got only 2, right?
yeah, only 2 dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But a 6 does it. So all 3 of you pass. You are able to avoid
It's
having
making
the
me itchy.
spiders. Yeah, right. You're able to avoid having the spiders interfere with your next actions. Meanwhile, the great spider leaves Davin partially cocooned to shoot a web at Muse. Muse, let me roll to hit you. I have to roll dice in this game.
What?
The web goes right past your ear. You hear it like sizzle past your ear, and harmlessly hit the stack of books behind you. It is now Kevin and Sophia's turn. Who would like to go
If this
first?
gets in my hair, I will kill you. I mean, I'm going to kill you anyway, but...
Is there a movement, like, half
Yes.
action?
It is an action. You get 2 actions per turn.
Okay, so I am a close, which is code for melee fighter. I would like to spend one of my 2 movements in this turn to move up to... Seems kind of counterintuitive, but I get closer to the insect, and then I've got my foam nunchucks, and I'm going to try to roll to hit it.
You go. You go, girl.
I hit it. I get 1 damage in on this. I'm attacking the big mama. I understand that my character is not upset by this. So I'm just like, yeah.
I hit it!
I mean, really, actually, I don't think Sophie would have hit it if it hadn't been like wrapping up another student. And I'm probably like telling it like, no fighting between classmates. Do you have a student ID? Back off.
In my head, it's the rolled up newspaper with the dog on the nose. You know, no.
Kevin, I'm not going to make you roll for this. That pheromone of danger is all over the place. This is the
figured.
thing from the stars that is here to kill you.
You know that. I think it's a student tussle, you know. Like, it's mixed interpretations.
For all you know, it could be Pledge Week, Sophia.
I mean, Kevin's ultimate goal is survival of the colony, and this is something that could prove a threat to the colony. He is going, only one of us is going to leave this library. It's either going to be me or the spider, but it's not going to be both of us.
All right. So, what are you going to do?
Charge at it
You have
with
two
my mop.
You have 2 actions, so you want to move up to it and attack it?
Yes.
Okay.
You gonna bop it with
leaving
your
the
mop?
swarms behind, right?
I can deal with the little guys later.
Alrighty.
And I get 3 because I'm proficient with my staff, right?
Yes, you are in fact mastered with your staff, so you have advantage.
Well, in a manner of speaking, 442. So I waved threateningly at him.
You I'd say with a couple of 4s there, you get a good thwack, but it just doesn't do any damage to it. Pisses it off though.
Bad
All right.
spider, no.
Down, boy.
Okay. So we go back to the top of our initiative, and Muse, you get to go first. What would you like to do?
I get to go first.
Remember, your boobs do have to be reloaded as an action.
Okay.
But there's also a bunch of swarms in the same zone with you.
You know what? I'm too mad. I'm gonna get out my guitar and I'm gonna start acting like it's a fly swatter and just start swinging.
Okay, so you get out your axe.
Yep. More
All right.
or less.
You're going for the swarms with it?
Yes.
Okay. So now we never really figured out what your axe is in terms of fluffing it for this game.
2d6 because it's not a mastered weapon.
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
But is it a heavy weapon or a light weapon?
Heavy because snacks.
I feel like it's heavy.
I feel like it's heavy because, like she said, it's an axe.
Yeah.
Which means it deals 2 damage if it hits.
I think it's heavy too. So normally, it will do 2 points of damage if you hit. So go ahead and roll to see if you hit. It's going to be 2 6-sided dice because you do not have mastery with this weapon.
Don't fail me now, dice. Yeesh. A 1 and a 5.
Okay. So you swing your axe around. You're like, I don't know. Are you, is it a sweep? Is it a slice? How does this look?
It's kind of like a baseball bat, like a swing.
Okay. And you're thinking this is gonna wipe things out, right? But because they're a swarm, as you're cleaving through, you're doing like half the damage to these suckers. It's annoying, but there it is. So, but you do some damage to one of the swarms. Now, that was I think that was 2 actions because taking out equipping your axe was one of your actions. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay. All right. The spiders take their revenge. So the swarms, the little spiderling swarms, the one that you hit, Muse, definitely swarms up your axe up the fretboard to harass you and bite your flesh. And it is all the little spiders are unsuccessful in getting through your soft,
I would say tough.
moisturized your skin.
Moisturize me.
Anyway, I don't know. Is your skin particularly tough, or is it just that they glide off? What's up?
There's places that it's tough, but there's also places where it's soft. It's a gamble for those little suckers.
I mean, you're clearly not protecting your flesh with clothing, so
I mean, like I said, and this will give Kevin a better idea of Muse. You can see that even with her top off, she is quite augmented. She is not human. She is a cyborg. And so the bugs don't really seem to be bothering her too much, as like they seem to just either just slide off the augmentation or just bite into those machinery parts.
Okay. And the second swarm comes up, and apparently they find the soft part of your body.
Mm-hmm.
And their little tiny fangs dig in. You must make a save test, please.
Probably just 2d6. Ooh, not great. A 1 and a 3.
You have disadvantage on your next attack.
Yikes.
Might as well use the axe.
Might as well use the axe indeed.
And the third swarm follows Kevin and swarms up, but Kevin, your carapace is tough, and the swarm does not get through to your fleshy bits inside.
Oh, good.
Now, you and Sophia have both rushed up to the big spider, and the big spider turns its attention to Sophia.
I'm busy telling it to show its student ID and to knock it off or it's going to get detention.
Yes. Well, it will bite at you, and clearly it has mastered its fangs. It hits you, and its fang digs into your flesh. You take a point of damage, and you must make a save test, for which you have advantage.
Yay.
Because you are Sophia and
unaware of the amount of danger I am in. I got a 5.
Great. So even though it burns, you do not take additional damage from its venom.
What venom?
Kevin and Sophia. Yeah, venom? What venom? Kevin and Sophia, it is your turn. Who would like to go first?
You went first last time. Let's just keep the same order.
Okay. I'm going to try to... Now, if I don't move, can I attack twice?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
I would like to nunchuck it with both nunchucks. First the left and then the right.
Okay.
The chain in the middle judges me.
Very much so. Very, very much so.
The first one hits, but the second one doesn't.
All right. So you hit with the nunchucks. You see that you do a tiny, teeny amount of damage to the spider. It barely seems to even notice.
I would like to look at Devin and get some information about him, if possible.
That would be an action.
Really?
You just use
to
both
look
of
at
them.
things? Oh.
Well,
okay.
if you want to evaluate how he's doing, yeah.
Is he dead?
He is lying on the ground. He is half cocooned. That is all you can really spot at this moment.
Oh, I hope not.
Kevin.
Kevin's going to try to hit it.
All right.
Oh, Kevin, I know you're hot, but I don't think you should hit it.
I mean,
does
danger is hot.
Does this thing give off?
It's kind of rude to talk about me while I'm over here.
Canonically, I am a sexy bug. I don't know if canonically you have rolled as many seduction rolls as I have. But does this thing give off like it has an intelligence level equal to ours, or is this...
Would you like to spend one of your actions to evaluate this thing with your perception?
I'm going to try.
Go ahead and roll with advantage.
2, 5, 6.
This thing has a unworldly intelligent that is alien to your understanding. Whether it is the same level as yours is so hard to understand. It would probably take you another 1,000 years just to understand how to communicate with it. And you would surely go mad in the meantime.
Well, then I'm going to use my universal translator, which is a mop to the head.
All right.
That is going to be my euphemism for attacking from now on, is using the universal translator.
The mop to the head? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. 5-4-1. So I hit him once.
Hit him once.
When you see one big spider with a lot of little spiders, you think it's a boy?
Yeah, all right. I was going to say, you hit her once.
It.
Let me explain spider anatomy and reproductive life cycles.
I mean, in all fairness,
You don't know. She could be.
I don't know.
He could be trans. He could be a trans spider. You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this could just be the food left by another spider for the spider younglings. Who knows?
Kevin also only has the very basic grasp of gender in general, seeing as there's only one queen that lays millions of eggs, and Kevin was sent out of the hive, but he is a non-reproducing entity, so is he male or is he female? He has gone with male because his name is Kevin, and that is a male name.
That's kind of funny that you're literally the hottest bug to ever exist, and you're a non-reproducing entity.
Yep.
You're perfect for Muse.
I mean, he is the very definition of the term asexual. He cannot reproduce. He has no interest in it. That is not why he was created. He does not care.
Yeah, definitely not like Muse at all.
No.
No. But other people find you irresistible.
It's true. It's true.
All right. So we go back to.
He was like, "Oh, don't think I didn't seduce people." It's like, how many people has Muse seduced? It's kind of hard to keep count.
So we're back to the top of the initiative. Muse, what are you going to do? You do have disadvantage on your next attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to meet him with my axe.
Okay. Same swarm, I assume?
Yes. So now instead of 2 dice, it's only 1 die, right?
That is correct.
A 1.
That is definitely not going to hit. So the swarm will return the favor as both it and swarm number 2 attempt to give you a bad time.
Doesn't Muse get 2 actions?
I'm sorry, Muse gets 2 actions. Thank you. Would you like to take a second action?
I'll take another swing at him. Ooh.
Okay.
Better. 4.
Not that much better.
A 1 and a 4 are the same.
Oh boy.
But that's okay. That's all right. So the swarms, they're all about you, and so I need you to make a save test as swarm number 1 bites the heck out of you.
All right. Still at disadvantage.
This is a saving throw, not your attack. So you just it's regular. It's regular.
Okay. 4 and a 5. Woo.
Okay, so you do not have disadvantage on your next attack.
Yay.
All right. And then swarm number 3 that was tangoing with Kevin does so again, also missing. And our big bad spider is going to attack Kevin, hitting you for a point of damage. And I need you to make a saving throw. You do not have advantage on this.
What if I really want advantage on this?
Do you have something that gives you advantage on saving throws?
No.
Okay.
Well, a 2 and a 2, so no.
Okay. So in addition, this must be one of those types of spiders that is particularly good at hunting your type of insectoid, because its fangs bite into your your thorax and inject you with venom. You take 1 point of damage just from the bite, and then 2 additional damage from the venom as it seeps into your circulatory system.
That's unpleasant.
Very much so. Kevin and Sophia, it is your turn. I think Sophia was going first. Are we good with that? Keep that up? We'll go with yes.
Yeah. All right. So the status of my friends is they seem sad. They've made some ouch sounds. And Devin is in a cocoon. So Muse is sad. Kevin is sad. Devin is sad. And there's babies in the library. And there's a big spider in the library. And I'm just like, A lot of me wants to go get Nickel to ask.
There's also a goat wandering around here somewhere. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, and there's a goat here, which I think is just like the cleanup janitor of the library, removing books from circulation at its whimsy. So I'm very confused, but I do know that this spider shouldn't be fighting, right? You shouldn't be fighting in school. So I'm going to try to... Let's see. I'm going to use Lucky if this doesn't work and try it again. And I'm going to try to say to the big spider, parlay! Which is, stop fighting and let's talk about this. Back off and let's have a chat. And I'm going to try to roll 2d6 and then I'm going to try to roll 2d6 again. So I think statistically there's like 2 out of 3 to the squared plus 2 out of 3 to the squared. So the odds are not bad.
So
that I fail.
I'm going to save you a die roll.
Oh.
Because I feel like Kevin would have probably yelled something like, Kevin, how would you have expressed that this thing is probably not going to be able to be talked to?
It is evil. It is here to kill us all. It is here to kill the colony. Our only recourse is destruction.
I think Sophie would be pretty unlikely to beat something like to death in the library stacks. But I definitely would be willing to beat something off of a person on the floor. So I'll beat it back. So I'm going to attack twice. Not using my Lucky. I'm just using my Mastery of Nunchuck ? This is not how Sophia is actually good at nunchucks. She is bad at nunchucks, but in this game she has mastery over them. The first one hits. The second one hits. And I'm just going to try to get it off of the cocooned TA. 2 damage.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like you're trying to use your nunchucks more defensively to defend.
Police baton style.
Davin, right? To kind of, I'm going to interpret this as you're pulling Davin away from the spider and maybe even clearing some of the webs from him.
Yeah. And hitting it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it sounds to me like you're not trying to do damage to the spider. You're trying to save and protect Davin.
And break up the fight and be like, space between you guys.
Okay. So we'll say that you are able to to protect Davin enough for him to get clear of this fight. All right. You are still in the close range of the great spider, but you're able to protect Davin and help him get clear of the web so he is able to get away. And on the NPC turn, he will move from close to near to far, and then the next turn he will move to farther and farther and farther and farther and farther. He's going to run upstairs to the 3rd floor and hide in a cubby. I don't know.
Really?
Right.
Really, Devin?
I don't know what he's going to do. But he's definitely not going to stay here and fight. He thinks this is a terrible, terrible
Just as a suggestion, I'm going to shout after him, get Nickel!
That would be a great suggestion. Okay. Kevin, it is your turn.
The first thing I'm going to do is try to kill the swarm that's on me.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go after the big bad guy.
Okay.
661.
Okay, so your first action is to make a sweep with your mop on the swarm, and you definitely affect it. It's not completely gone, but probably another good hit will get rid of it. Like you've swept out like half of the spiders.
They aren't as big a threat as the big guy is, so I'm going to use my second attack to go after the big guy.
Sounds good.
I got a 6.
Great. So you smack at a spider. What does that look like? Describe for the audience.
I take my mop and I whack him on the head with the end that would normally go in the mop water, like those janitor-style mops that look, with all the dangly bits coming off of it, not like a sponge mop. I smack the spider on the head with that really hard, and bubbles kind of fly off of its head.
I like it. All right. Yeah. It's and it's nice and heavy, right? Because that mop end is, it's all that like cotton rope. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Muse, we are at the top of the initiative order. It is your turn.
Okie dokie. I'm going to take one of my actions to reload.
Okay.
Put a dent in some of these bugs. And I'm going to take a swing.
So you've reloaded your bullet boobs, but you're going to take a swing with your axe?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that way next time I can shoot.
Got it. I assume you're going after Swarm 1, the one that you hit before, yeah? With the axe?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Which I got a 5 and a 6.
Wonderful. You crush the last of the spiders in that swarm, sending its little purple glowing body skittering off into the stacks. It hits a particularly hefty volume and curls up and falls to the ground.
All right.
Swarm number
all I can do.
2, however, decides that it's going to try to mess you up, and it goes for you. They're highly attracted to you, but it rolls snake eyes. So,
I mean, I can't blame them. So,
right, yeah. It has eyes only for you, but they are snake eyes. And Kevin, on you and Sophia, swarm number 3, which you've done a pretty solid hit to, is going to answer you in kind. But it also is ineffective in getting through your carapace. Meanwhile, the great spider looms is coming for y'all. It thrashes. It lashes out. It is a little ticked off that Sophia let its meal go, so it's going after her. So I rolled a 6, but that was cumulative over 3 dice.
That's cute. That's cute.
Yeah, it is real cute. So it lashes out with its many legs, but
I
is
put one
unable.
finger between its fangs and I go, shh, library.
As it tries to bite your finger but misses.
This is a library.
Sophia, as you admonish the great spider, what would you like to do?
I would like to stand there and shake my head at it judgingly. And I say, "Sir or ma'am, this is a library. Are you going to be quiet now?" And it's like clearly attacking me. And I'd be like,
it hisses in response.
Girl.
"Look, I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna whack you with this foam nunchuck. Be quiet in the library." I'm gonna hit it twice. Bop, bop.
Also, and this is actually in my notes for this monster. The spider is completely deaf.
Oh. So you're literally like.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That hit twice, so I'm gonna make some. I mean, I'm making a lot of hand gestures because I'm not talking very loudly, And I'm
That's
like
good.
putting my finger to lip.
Sure,
And be
yeah.
like, you know, palm raised, fingers spread, shaking palm, you know, back and forth.
That spider.
Yeah. And I did hit it twice for 2 damage. But these are foam nunchucks. These are not lethal weapons. And I'm honestly bopping it like directly vertical down on the top of its head. Like bop bop.
Okay.
Stop that, spider.
Stop. Bad. No. No spider. No biscuit. Kevin, how will you defend the colony?
Take 2 whacks at that big spider mama.
All right. Spider Mama looks very like disoriented from those nunchuck whacks. Maybe it's just confused at what Sophia thinks she's doing. I don't know.
Effectively.
First one is 263.
That's going to hit it.
Then 112. So I got 1 hit.
That's okay. So when you hit it with your mop, describe how you take down this spider from the stars.
I think it rears up to take a big bite of me, and I take my mop and shove it right down her throat. And then pin her down and just hold it there until she stops moving.
The classic.
So I drown her with my mop.
Oh, I was going to say the classic bug pinning
Yeah, that
move.
too.
Yeah.
And then I get a really big shoe. I mean, ideally, I would have gotten a really big glass and put it around her, and then gotten a piece of paper and slid it under and carried her outside. But you know, you do what you
didn't have time
can
for that. You do what you can. That's right. That's right. And just as you do that, the shelves start moving as you see that behind you, Devin has pressed the mechanism to close these shelves.
Oh, we should have just run out and squished that thing. I didn't even think about that. Can I jam my mop in the mechanisms and break them?
I feel like that's going to probably break your mop before it breaks the mechanism.
But would it
you can
work at the
try.
same time?
You can try.
I'll try.
Okay.
I mean, the worst case is we get 2 smashed bugs down here.
You can make a test.
4 or 5?
Okay. So you wedge your mop between the shelves, and it's going to slow it down. But you can see already the
I'm
mop
not
is going to
thinking
bend.
of like stopping them from closing on me, like squishing. I'm thinking of taking that mop and jamming it down in the mechanism, like the rollers the shelf is on, and trying to stop the rollers, not try to keep it from squishing us by propping it open, but jamming the mechanism that closes it.
The mechanism is like grinding your mop into splinters. It's slowing it down. So you guys have like a round to get out of there. Plenty of time.
Then I'm going to use the rest of my...
Who designed these killer shelves?
Well,
Again, it's new in Thera Community College. This place is full of dangers.
I would imagine it's the same people who invented those bleachers we all had in high school that you'd pull to pull out all the bleachers, then push them to close them all in, because every time we pulled those out, our gym teacher would remind us that if somebody's back there, it could kill them. So check every time.
It might also be the same person who built a community college on top of the grave of an undead Hydra. I don't know. But anyway.
It was working until it wasn't.
So you're saying it's capitalism?
Yes. Capitalism
the true
ruins
monster.
everything. So you do manage to slow down the shelves from closing. You can all get out from between the shelves. The spider hatchlings disperse as their big mama is defeated, and inexorably those shelves do slide closed on the body as you hear a squish.
You all see Kevin take a notepad out from his pocket, and it says Mr. George on the outside, and he writes down, "Put down spider traps in restricted section," and underlines it on his to-do list.
Also, get new mop.
Get new mop, yes.
So you have defeated the spider from beyond the stars.
I'm just horrified.
The pheromone scent is fading. There's still a little bit of that sort of crackling sense in the air, but it quickly dissipates in the downstairs ventilation system.
Oh no, there was a fight between students, and then the shelves malfunctioned and squished one of them.
I just thought of something much worse than that. I am the janitor. I have to clean that up.
Sucks to be you. Bye. She walks away.
And he just broke his mop.
Oh, I pat myself. I'm sure I've got here. I'll give him $20. This should cover it.
Kevin doesn't even take the money. He just walks back towards the janitor's closet to start cleaning up the mess that just got made.
So, Sophia, as you are kind of assessing and dealing with the trauma of having just watched what you think might be a student get crushed, and as you're walking back, you pass the Cyclopedia of Pigments again, and the chain on your nunchucks rattles again as you pass these 2 volumes by.
I'm used to it laughing at me. That's how I interpret this. Yeah, I know. I messed up. Does your chain talk to you ever, or is it laughs at me? It rattles in sardonic moments.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It's kind of a jerk.
Totally, I get it. So later on, when you are trying to use the catalog, which Davin helps you with, by the way, as thanks for saving his life. So he will help you with the catalog for finding this formula you're looking for. He actually likes you. Not you, Muse.
Was that to me?
Just Sophia.
Was that to me? Was that to me?
No. Did you save his life? No. But Sophia did.
That's Sophia, so she's nicer than I am.
Yeah, she is. So he, when you mention the he helps you find different books in the library and tells you how to locate them in the stacks, and when the 2 of you go down to where the dyes and pigments and stuff and the formularies are, the 2 volumes of Hanson's Cyclopedia of Pigments aren't actually on the catalog list. He says, I think these must have been delisted a while ago.
Yeah, I know. There's this really helpful goat worker person who was removing the books from the shelves. And I was gonna ask Nickel about that. Maybe I can buy the book if it's being delisted. You don't have to eat it. Do you have a used book sale where you take books that are no longer being shelved and instead of feeding them to a goat, you let people buy them?
Davin kind of looks at you kind of strange and says, there's no goat that works in the library.
You almost got eaten by a spider earlier, so I trust you about geology. I do, but I feel like you don't know how the library works. So I want to talk to Nickel.
Do you bring the books to Nickel?
Oh, they're chained, so I just go to Nickel and ask.
Nickel has no record of those books being in the library.
I know, they got delisted. That's why the goat was eating them.
There is no record of these books in the library system, listed or delisted.
Oh, Nickel. I just pat Nickel on the little robot head, and I'm just so it's okay if I take them?
You reach up to pat him, because remember, he's 15 feet tall.
Holy cow. I don't pat anything. I know, Nickel. I know. Yes, they were removed from the catalog. You're very right. So it's okay if I take them, if I just like... Okay. All right. Message received. Wink. Wink. I got it, Nickel. I get what you're saying. There's no record of them ever being in the catalog, and I go back to them on the shelf.
Okay. Do you take the books?
They're mine, right? I just have to figure out how to undo this chain.
The chain is sturdy, but it's a good solid leverage on one of the links will take care of it.
Does Kevin have the key on his big janitor's key ring? He could unlock it for her.
Ooh, I bet he does.
I definitely ask you for help because I don't think I can break a chain.
Kevin unlocks it for her.
There you go.
Thank you.
Right kind of leverage. And you now have two fairly hefty books with basically D rings on the spines. The chain of your nunchucks rattles.
Always laughing at me. I know it's a long way around, but now I can finally look up how to take the crimson dye and turn it blue. I'll get there.
Muse.
Yes.
Do you go back to the rare sheet music section?
Sure, yeah. I'll mosey on my way back over there. I'll just be like, yeah, I'm done here.
So, obviously, Sophia is very law-abiding, right? She's not just going to steal books or historical documents or magical sheet music, right?
But I will.
That's cool, because you find the Treatise on the Gilded Voice. It is a historical document about the Golden Voice, a legendary song that was supposedly the first instance of a viral meme in music. It is said that when this song is sung in public by a skilled performer, the song becomes an instant earworm in the original singer's voice, repeating itself and passing from listener to listener as others repeat the song. However,
It's leak spin.
a performer whose skill is insufficient suffers severe consequences from the attempt, which can include permanent muteness, derangement, and even death.
Nope, it's the hamster song.
Do you take the Treatise on the Gilded Voice? No, this is not sheet music of the Gilded Voice. This is clues and information about it. The quest begins.
I'll take it. I'm just gonna fold it up and put it in my bag and hope nobody saw me.
Excellent. And finally, Kevin, as you are cleaning up, because you're always cleaning up, you have to use a broom for a little bit because, getting a new mop, right? But that's okay, because you're going to need a broom because you're here in the geology collection, and which got all kinds of disrupted and everything. And so you're sweeping up and everything, and there is a crystal that does not have a spot in the drawers as you're putting stuff away. It's fairly small, easily fits in your mandible.
Is there anything special about this particular rock?
Roll one of your perceptive checks as you examine this crystal carefully.
1, 2, 5.
Okay. So as you're examining it, you have this sense that there's like a little, like a crack in it. And as you're kind of feeling it, you feel that the crystal can actually split and rotate. And you do that. Like it makes a very satisfying click when you do so. And it's like, okay. And then shortly after, you overhear a couple of students talking, and one of them, this is clearly one of those weird mammal mating rituals. One of them asks, hey, do you want to go out and see a show tonight or something? And the other was like, oh, I'm really sorry. I'm super busy. It's midterms and I really have to study. And the crystal glows yellow. Just briefly.
I'm guessing that student didn't really have to go study.
Nope.
I have a truth stone.
Yeah. It is a lie detector crystal. Once per day, you can activate it, It will stay active for 10 minutes. You learned this with trial and error. It will stay active for 10 minutes. And once it's been activated, it will glow yellow when someone within 20 feet of the crystal speaks an untruth, even a white lie.
I like it. That's going to come in handy at some point, I'm sure.
Muse, you return to Esteban, who has been working on your paper. You don't have the book that you were supposed to get for him, but he's written a paper that will probably get you like a C+.
Yeah, the guy who I went to go get that book from was a total, like, douche. So, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Listen, do you want to like go see a show or something tonight?
Sure, what time?
And he seems ecstatic and names a time and a place to go see a band that you haven't seen before. It's like some kind of girl band. And when you go later that evening, you can feel however you feel about it because the lead singer is Gemma.
Yeah, I leave immediately. As soon as I see her, I'm gone.
Man, standing up your midterm date. All right. Well, thank you all for playing. This has been Tiny Dungeon with the fire-breathing kittens. We've been playing with Sofia.
Oh, I raised the pH.
We've been playing with Muse.
I really hate that girl.
And we've been playing with Kevin.
I need to replace my mop.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.